All right, everyone. As of yesterday, it appears, link in the description, archived, of course, that Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino are actually at odds. They're not on particularly speaking terms at the moment. I am not surprised by this. Based on the Epstein client list release, it appears that what happened is that Pam Bondi actually had the files. But then the FBI preempted her and came out and said, with Bongino and Patel, of course, that the client list did not exist. Um, Either that or they never gave it to Pam Bondi. So actually, she might be blameless in this, honestly, which is very, 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 very interesting. I'm thinking that there's some sort of a cover-up going on here, though. I trust the Trump administration generally, but I do not trust all of the people that are within the administration. So Kash Patel and Dan Bongino should probably be fired. They should be let go of. Now, if Pam Bondi is really interested in releasing this to the public, that would be great. That would be wonderful. She might be preempting on that token because, of course, there is a problem. The problem is that if you do have ongoing investigations into some of the people that are on that list, you don't want to release the list, taint any jury that can be convened, and screw your own legal case. I can understand that. That part I can grant. That's perfectly fine. But at the same time, I believe that it's in the public's interest, generally speaking, to release the fucking list. You can redact anything that you need to redact. You can still release it to the public. The fact that the FBI is now claiming that there is no client list and there was no blackmail is totally bullshit. Everyone knows that it's bullshit. 99.9% of the public, liberals, conservatives, independents, everybody else, knows, yeah, there were weird things going on there on Epstein Island, on Rape Island. We know this. We don't need any further evidence. It's quite self-evident. To say that there was no client list is bullshit. It's complete literal bullshit. The fact that the FBI would come out and try to gaslight the public and lie to them and say, yeah, no, there was no list. He never kept a list. We didn't find any. Interesting, because Pam Bondi said she had it on her desk quite literally. It was physically there. Well, which is it? Is it that Pam Bondi was just handed a ream of paperwork, didn't go through it, she's a bimbo and she doesn't know what she's doing? Or is it some sort of cover-up? Or is it a cover operation for continued investigation into certain individuals? The problem is if it's part of a concerted effort to shield the investigation, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Why would you say to the public that there was no list? What you should have done is come out and tell the truth. There is a list. We cannot release it at this time. We are investigating all leads with regards to these individuals. That's all you had to say. It's literally the only thing that you had to do. Unfortunately, they chose a different route. They chose to disclaim the fact that the list actually existed in the first place, but we know that it exists. Epstein was not getting billions of dollars in investment for nothing. All he seemed to have done was hold sex parties. That's pretty much his MO. He held sex parties and he got investment into various businesses, and that was basically how he was making a living, how he afforded a literal private island in the Caribbean. That's expensive. I wish I could have one. There wouldn't be any rape going on, but there probably would be weird shit going on. Mainly lots of barbecues and stuff like that. Uh, yeah, Hawaiian pig roast. That sounds good. We'll mark it for tomorrow or something like that. With Jeffrey Epstein, he was quite clearly trafficking people. We know this. Ghislaine Maxwell got found guilty of trafficking, apparently to no one, by the way, which is, absurd, and is in prison at the moment. There was a news article actually earlier today looking at her workout routine. She was apparently working out on the prison yard and shit like that and keeping fit. Well, good for you. I mean, you got a sweetheart deal, that's for sure. This was totally not to keep her silent. Hey, I don't think that we can cause her to commit suicide and the public won't ask questions. So we're going to have to deal with her existence. Well, we'll put her in a low security facility. She's not really a threat. She can go and fuck all of the 18-year-old females that are there, and she probably is doing that right now. She'll have fun. She can play tennis. She can work out. And so it's not really jail at all. It's basically it's a sweetheart deal. That's basically what she got. With Jeffrey Epstein, they were worried that he would squawk because he knew exactly who had been to the island and who had fucked the 14-year-olds. And so they killed him. And they quite clearly did. This was not a suicide. Anyone that still believes that is retarded, honestly. You've got to be mentally damaged in some way to actually believe the official storyline. And I guarantee there will come a day it probably will be 40, 50 years from now, when we're all old and gray. They're going to come out and say, oh, yeah, we always had evidence that Epstein didn't kill himself. He was actually assassinated. And people will say, wow, a mystery solved. And then they'll go back to work. They'll go back to the water cooler and shit like that. This is what happened with the Gulf of Tonkin. It's what happened with multiple other scandals that we've had in U.S. history. We need to start being more honest and simply open up as a country and say, look, something was done, it was unacceptable, and we own up to it. But unfortunately, there's no impetus for people at the higher ranks to do so. There's literally no cause for them to want to do this sort of thing. They would rather cover it up, make their money, and so forth. As far as Bongino and Bondi, I'm not surprised that they're at odds. I have a feeling that she wanted to release the paperwork, but then the paperwork disappeared. And the FBI said, no, you're not allowed to do that. Sorry, because there's a lot of rich and famous people on here that we really, really want to donate to the GOP or something along those lines. It's very, very simplistic. It's very, very elementary. I have a feeling that that's exactly what happened. Either that, or they said, hey, if you release this list, the U.S. economy will actually tank. It will be destroyed because so many of the rich and famous are goddamn perverts. And so we can't release it right now. We're going to have to trickle it out or something like that. Again, I can understand the basic premise, the pragmatic premise. I like to inject pragmatism into my political takes. But at the same time, by lying and saying that the client list doesn't even exist, despite the fact that we know that it exists, you are straight out lying to the entire American public. I think that Bongino should be removed in his post. I think that Kash Patel should be fired. And Bondi, I guess, yeah, she can remain. For now, at least. That's about all. Peace out.